Hidden fees are real, unfortunately. I would think of them not as hidden in a way that they're kept from you, but then things that are going to be unexpected when you encounter them throughout your school process. So you'll see things beyond tuition and fees that are posted that become unexpected fees in your classes. You may find a technology fee with an online class registration. You may find that textbooks are going to be more expensive, even if you've heard that they're expensive and you know they're going to be expensive. Sometimes they're even more expensive than that when you go to buy them every semester. Activity fees may sneak up depending on what kind of activities you want to be involved in. You can talk with your school if these activity fees are more for students that are on campus and you're not going to be on campus. You might be able to ask for waivers of those kind of things. And graduation fees, another fee that kind of comes up that you don't expect, and then it comes up at the very end. So know that when you're factoring in costs, estimating what your budget's going to be like, to kind of put a little bit of a buffer in there for things that are going to be unexpected. Unexpected costs could also happen depending on what major you've chosen. For example, architecture majors. I used to work with them as an academic advisor a number of years ago, and they had a lot of supplies that they needed to build models, and those were very often expensive and unexpected when they were planning for tuition and fees and textbooks. Art students, another area where you could anticipate a lot of extra needs for supplies in the classes. So depending on your major, if you're not sure if you're going to have this kind of cost, ask when you're talking with academic advisors and admissions counselors what kind of supplies and things you're going to need for courses. Specific software, for example, might be another one that would be unexpected. Each school is going to be the best source of information for its cost and what those break down into. And you're going to see lists for tuition, and tuition might be calculated in different ways by different schools. So you can see it calculated by credit hour, by course, and by semester. So think about how that looks and how that compares with the schools that you're interested in. You'll also want to ask about things like fees, and you'll see some of those are advertised on those pages that show you what tuition is going to be on school websites. Contact the school directly with any questions that you have about what costs are going to be. Those are some of the most difficult things to estimate when you get started, so don't be afraid to contact schools directly and ask questions to clarify or to fill in any of the gaps, things that you couldn't find online. Schools are becoming much more transparent with cost information. It's a crux of a problem for many students and has been in the past, so they're getting better at telling you exactly what it's going to cost you when you get started. So look for things like net price calculators and other ways to estimate what not only the school costs are going to add to your budget every month, but how to factor that into your already existing living expenses and budget that you may have with you and your family. You may find, depending on the schools that you're researching, that online courses are priced differently than on-campus courses, and sometimes they're priced a little bit higher. And part of the reason for that is that online courses require an infrastructure of technology and personnel to maintain that technology that is a little bit different and potentially more pricey. And so that will often be reflected in the fees that you pay or the tuition that you're paying for those classes. You may see things like a technology fee that work to accommodate that. The design of online courses is also requires a certain level of expertise that you may see reflected in those extra fees and prices of online classes. I think that there are a number of ways to make any kind of education more affordable, and some of those would be maybe talking with your employer. Sometimes an employer will have a partnership with a school that would offer a reduced cost in tuition. They may even have some sort of an incentive program that helps reimburse you for classes that you enroll in on your own. If those classes are related to the work that you do, you could look at transferring credit. If you've done some college classes in the past, see if those classes will transfer into a new program online. You could also look at having your prior learning assessed, getting prior learning credit for things that you've learned through your years of work and experience on the job. There are multiple ways through testing and portfolio building that you can work with a school to assess what you know and how that's the equivalent of classes that they offer. And that could, again, reduce the number of total classes that you have to take. That process often comes with some sort of a fee or charge, but it'll likely be less than tuition for taking those classes.